Hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you might be watching this. So, today, coming in and doing a short live. Well, let's see how long the live is today on a really, really powerful subject, and it is the subject of self confidence. Not just self confidence, self acceptance, belief in yourself, building a loving and empowered relationship with yourself and all that you are. Yeah. So that is your emotions, your mind, your body, and everything also in your external world, because how you feel about it, it reflects from within, right? And I would like you to imagine no longer questioning yourself. I would like you to imagine what your life can look like when you truly believe in yourself and when you feel confident in all areas of your life. And that is built from you being confident in yourself and that confidence being born or flowing from within you. Yeah. And I want to give you in this session today to give you a lot more clarity on the simplicity of the building of self-confidence, because it can seem quite elusive. Yeah. And the building of love for yourself, because it's like this intangible thing. Yeah. And we try to understand love through amazing things like poetry, music, dance, all of these different types of expression. And it's something that we try to explain with words, and yet it's a feeling. And so it can be challenging to explain. And so today is going to be about beginning to understand through the human explanation what love is, because self-confidence is built on love. Yeah, it flows from love, not from fear. And so everything we're talking about today is how can we transform or transition from building things from fear, this sense of scarcity, of lack, and actually move into a place of abundance and joy and gratitude and love, and be able to live from that space. And the reason I feel called to come in and join and share this with you today is I gave a talk on Saturday, and it was my first ever in-person seminar. And not only this, I did it in Spanish. So it was a big challenge for me, really got me outside of my comfort zone. And it was such a beautiful experience. Hello, hello, those of you joining, welcome, welcome. So today's subject is the building of self-confidence and two pillars of building that. Yeah. And the reason I wanted to come in and talk about this is because during this talk, one of the girls there asked the question, how do I transform my emotions? How do I transform sadness or learn from it and heal it? How do I become more confident? How do I love myself deeper and deeper? And rather than answering the question straight away, I allowed the group that was there with us for us to explore it and for us to co-create the answer. And it was amazing because everybody came up with their own expression of and their own explanation of how to build love and how to live from a place of love. And it was really to do with their own personal journey, you know, how they talk to themselves, what they say to themselves in the mirror, how they act, how they react, so many different answers. And then we took a pause and I got them to step back and actually consider what the global answer was. So, what was the underlying message behind everything? And this is what I want to share with you today. And then maybe at the end, I will share a little personal story. This one, it's not that recent, but let's see. Let's see if I feel called to share it. So, something, if you have been following me for a while, you will have heard me talk about agape love. Okay, you will have heard me talk about agape love, and I want to talk about that again today. This is one of these messages that even if you've heard it once, twice, maybe you've been to a lot of my sessions, yeah, but it's good to keep hearing it again and again and reminding yourself, because this is one of the first things I began with when answering this lady's question, is that we can know what to do. So maybe you know what to do to build confidence. Maybe it's confidence in your body, confidence in your actions, confidence in your relationships, confidence in your choices. You may know what to do to build that confidence. Maybe other people tell you what you can do to build your confidence. The question is, are you actually doing the things to make the change? Yeah. And so it all begins with that consistency, that consistently showing up for yourself to make the changes happen. And this is one of the big, big things that get in people's way. And this is not one of the two pillars, by the way. This is me building up to the two pillars. But what will make the big difference is not drastic changes, not big leaps, yeah? Although you can create big leaps with small changes, but it's about the consistency of doing things on a regular basis, okay? And it's one of these points is going to build on the other, okay? So you begin with the first and then you build on it with the second point. So a lot of the times we believe that we need to feel love to experience it. And we can get stuck in the loop of waiting to feel something, whether it's love, motivation, desire, acceptance, confidence. Hello, Anne, welcome. We are waiting to feel it before we act. And you know this already, but I am reminding you that to feel something requires that first come the action, and then from the action is born the feeling, the emotion, the inner experience. And so we get stuck in the non-doing and the waiting for the feeling, yeah? So let's look at self-confidence as an example. So Saturday, when I did my first ever in-person seminar in front of a big group of people in a foreign language on love for self, yeah, how to create a loving relationship with yourself, I was really nervous. There was a certain level of confidence because I've been doing this for a long time and I have been teaching for a long time online. And so I have the confidence of having expressed it again and again and again. But let's go back to when I first started. I did not have confidence in doing it. Not in appearing on a Facebook Live and just talking about a subject. I wasn't confident. And it required me to do it once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times to build layer of confidence upon layer of confidence upon layer of confidence. And so it really is about beginning with the imperfect action. Yeah. So I invite you to take a pause and think of an area in your life where you are lacking confidence. And ask yourself, what can you do to build confidence in that area? Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are lacking confidence in your body, in the way it works, in your health, in the strength, in its ability, and maybe the way it looks. Yeah, I like to leave the part of the way it looks at the end, because you will find that the more confidence that you build in your health and in your longevity and in your well-being, that your confidence in the way that your body looks will build massively when you choose to live from a place of treating yourself with love and respect. Yeah. And building a relationship with your body from that place, love, always love, not fear. When you build anything from a foundation of fear, so let's say you go out and you do a fitness regime and a diet. If you build that on a foundation of fear, then the relationship that you have with the way that your body looks is built on fear. And there will be the fear of loss ingrained in that. And this is why you see so many people yo-yoing when it comes to their results in fitness or weight loss or whatever it may be, because it is built on fear. When we build from love, that has strong roots. When we make our decisions from love, they are so much stronger. And so when things in life happen, then we are so much more rooted in I choose from love. And love often is not always taking the easy route. Often it's taking the more challenging route. It requires us to show up for ourselves and do the things we don't always want to do, whether it's rest, play, yeah, taking time off, doing a workout, eating healthily, meeting with our friends, whatever it may be. But the choices that you make in your life be from a place of love, and build on that, allow it to expand. And so when you make a choice in this area of your life where you're wanting to build confidence, know that at the beginning, you're not going to feel great about it. You're not going to be able to do it perfectly. You're not going to be able to be the master of whatever it is. And it's about being okay with that and actually getting excited like a child does. Yeah. You see kids get so excited about learning a few new things and they want to do everything. They're like, I want to learn that and that and that and that and that. They just have this hunger for growth and learning and expansion. Yeah. And then when we get into adulthood, we lose that. We lose that desire to always be leaning into the new and the growth. And we get stuck in these routines and repetitions. And the light inside us begins to die. I find this the more and more I get into a routine of doing the same things every day, the more shut down I feel, robotic, switched off. And it's when we get that, the joie de vivre comes from, or the joy of living comes from bringing in the spice and the variety and the new things and challenging ourselves, like I did on Saturday. Challenging yourself, getting outside of your comfort zone. Doesn't mean pushing. Big, big difference, yeah? Between pushing, forcing, fear. Yeah, that is a fear-based action. And deciding I choose to show up for myself and really lean into life and the joy of life and the magic of life. And so it's starting with imperfect action. Let's use a plank as an example because it's really clear. Yeah, the exercise of the plank. Let's say you've never done a plank before and there's no core strength, there's no chest, arms, shoulder, tricep, back strength to be holding a plank, legs, but you use everything in planks. You start with an imperfect plank that you may only hold for 5 seconds. And then the next time it might be 6, and then the next time 7, and the next time 10, and then do, and you build and you build and you build. And maybe if you go into a gym, you feel like, all right, doing it the first few times because you're looking around, you're like, everybody else knows how to do a perfect plank. And here's me feeling like, all right, new, trying to do a plank. And it's about doing it anyway. Who gives a fuck? It's about you feeling good from the inside. It doesn't matter what other people think. What do you think about yourself? Start there. Because when you believe in yourself, you will see all of the other people that look at you through the eyes of belief. I experienced this on Saturday. I was in such a place of expansion and joy on completing my first ever in-person seminar. I was flying and I couldn't stop smiling. And all I saw was smiling faces because it was a festival. Yeah. And so I was surrounded by people and all I saw in front of me was smiling faces here and here and here and here. All I saw was people smiling. Why? Because I was smiling. I was smiling out to the world and the world smiled back at me. So when you feel confident in yourself and you believe in yourself, the world will reflect that back to you. And so when we go into, let's say, the gym and we're doing that plank and we don't believe in ourselves, you've got to do it anyway and start building that belief and do it enough times until it becomes easy and you don't question yourself anymore. So that is literally the first foundation of building not just self-confidence, but love for yourself, because love for yourself is built on action, agape. And from that action, you build that belief, you build that trust that you're going to do the stuff that is necessary to be in optimal health and well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, yeah? And then love is born from that place. Begin with action. Okay, so this is pillar number 1. Begin with the imperfect action. Start small. Like I was saying, the plank is an example. You start with 5 seconds and then you build on those 5 seconds until holding a plank for a minute. Not that I get my clients to hold a plank for a minute because I like to play. I like my clients to have fun. Yeah, so don't get them holding something for a minute. I very much believe in finding freedom in your body. Yeah. So it's about being a child again. and playing with movements and having that strength and agility and flexibility that means you don't have to question your body anymore. That's a subject for another day. So you, from agape, from the action, think of how you bring up your children. Your kids are like, Mom, I want the ice cream. Dad, I want the ice cream. Do you always give them the ice cream? This is something we were talking about in the school the other day, because we're focusing on nutrition at the minute. So on Thursday, we talked about macronutrients and the magic of the macronutrients and how incredible food is, and understanding food from a completely different perspective. And one of the things that I remind my clients is the following. Do you allow your children to eat what they want, when they want, how much they want, and however they want, all of the time? Of course you don't, because you love them and you want them to be healthy and happy. And you know for them to be healthy and happy requires that you give them the building blocks of health and happiness, because the food that you eat is literally the building blocks of your emotions. Your hormones, your neurotransmitters, your enzymes are proteins, the majority of them. The food that you put into your body, think of protein as rejuvenation, renewal, strength, the ability of your body to function optimally. Yeah. And so literally what you feel and experience on a physical and emotional level is built through the food that you eat and the thoughts that you think, obviously, and the beliefs that you have. But food is literally the foundation. And so if you've not got your food on point and you're feeling depression, anxiety, frustration, you're not sleeping, any emotion that's challenging, and your food is not on point, that is literally the first place to look. This is one of the things I found when I was coming out of depression. The first thing that helped me to have the strength to be able to do the other things, to get rid of the beliefs and the limitations, the emotions, etc., and to be able to build belief in myself and confidence and a relationship with myself, it started with having the right foods in my body to build the hormones and the neurotransmitters that would allow me to feel happiness and to give me the energy to be able to face the things that I was finding hard and to empower me from that place. Yeah, agape love. And then the second pillar is the meaning that you give to the things that you do. The meaning that you give to what you do. And this is another way of explaining choosing from love rather than fear. So let's take the plank as an example again. Let's say you're going into the gym and you're doing a plank. And let's say you go into the gym doing the plank, and the meaning that you're giving the plank is, I don't like my body, I'm not enough, I'm too weak, I don't love and accept myself, and so I must do a plank to be enough, to change the way my body looks so that I can feel okay about myself. How about shifting that meaning to, I am showing up for myself. I'm doing the stuff that is hard and that I know that I don't necessarily want to do right now, but I'm doing it anyway because I'm building a relationship with myself. I'm choosing to look after my body. I'm choosing to do the hard things so that I build on this delayed gratification. Prefrontal cortex. Again, this is something we've been talking about in the school. You are strengthening your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your mind that allows for the expansion for you to connect with something beyond yourself, to be able to expand and evolve your consciousness, and for you to feel that your life has meaning and purpose, which is what truly brings us happiness. Yeah. The understanding of delayed gratification that can come from something that may be hard in the moment. And so the meaning that you give is, I choose to look after my future self so that I get to look back on today and be proud of my actions, rather than I must change my body because I don't love myself. Yeah. Now you can translate this to any area of your life that you may be lacking love or lacking self-confidence. Because love that is unconditional does not exist outside of you. What exists outside of you is conditional love that is temporary. The fountain of infinite unconditional love comes from inside of you out, where you build a life where you create what you desire within you that then reflects to your outside world. This is why I continually talk about inner fitness, outer results. Yeah, that your life get to be transformed in all areas. The physical transformation, the transformation of your relationships, your work life or retired life. Yeah, your emotional and mental, so that you get to connect with what truly gives you meaning and purpose and joy. Yeah. I got very excited. It was an amazing talk, and I will be doing more in person, and I will be doing more of these sessions. Now, if you've managed all the way to the end, I did say I was going to share a little story with you. I would love to have a personal conversation with you. Yeah, I love it when I get messages from you asking questions, making comments, wanting to dive deeper into subjects, mentioning things you're finding challenging, and if I can suggest things and guide you in some way. Yeah. So I love you to slide into my DMs, send me a message, comment in the video, whatever it may be. Okay. So let me share a little story. So not such a short live in after all. Ends up being like a full coaching session. So sometimes we don't act from love. Sometimes we act from fear. And either during or after it, we can transform that experience into a building block of our own growth. And it can actually become a building block. So let's say that you act from fear. You can actually transform that. Maybe something's happened recently, or maybe further in your past, and you can use that as a building block to create an even more loving and empowered relationship with yourself. And this is something I did. It seems recently, because I've been doing this for 20 years, but it was in quarantine, so that's what, 3 and a bit years ago. I did something, or I was acting in a way towards somebody that came from a place of fear. The other person was as well. So the two of us were acting from a place of fear, and we were, between us, creating a scenario that was even more fearful because it was two people acting from fear. And it wasn't a nice experience. There were a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of things that on both parts we didn't do from the most conscious of places. And when we finally had a conversation at the end of it all, I came away from that knowing that it was not for me to even try to change how the other person thought or felt, to allow them for that experience to be whatever it needed to be for them, and to then choose to act from a place of love and integrity. Love and integrity and respect towards myself and the other person. Because what I was feeling, because I had feelings of anxiety and anger. No, I'm not necessarily, the anger isn't an emotion I feel often, but anxiety and frustration and sadness, and feeling like I couldn't control what was happening, which you can't really ultimately. And so I stepped back from that situation and realized that a lot of what I was feeling was not to do with the other person. It was to do with the fact that I was acting from fear, and it made me feel ashamed of myself. And when I actually removed the other person's role in the scenario, what I was left with, once I decided what they think and they feel and their experience is not up to me, and to allow myself to let go of that and needing to change it in any way, and I looked only at my experience, I realized that a lot of that emotion I was feeling was my own, because of my own feeling about myself. And so even though I had, and I continue to have, I had a loving relationship with myself, there was a layer there to be worked upon. And so I allowed myself to sit with it and be with that and look at it and be radically honest about why I was feeling so bad, and to take radical responsibility for my actions and how that made me feel those challenging emotions. And then from that place, decide that in any future scenario, I have the power within me to choose not to act from that place, to pause and choose love over fear. And to actually realize that from that scenario, I don't want to share details because it involves another person. Yeah. And so it wants to stay private. But to actually allow myself to grow from that, rather than to be attached to, oh, they did that, they said that, this was wrong, that was wrong. I did wrong things. And to own it, own my story, own my, the responsibility for what I did, and then decide, okay, I'm human, and I now choose not to act from that place. And more love is born from there. Yeah. It took a little while and it hurt for a little while. And that's okay. As now I can look back on it and be, you know what? Now I've grown from that place and I'm stronger. And this is a whole other level of love, because it is a self-acceptance that comes from knowing that we are imperfect beings. There is duality within all of us, the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the fear and the love. And we will act from fear. It's part of being human. And we can choose to learn from it. And when we choose to learn from it, rather than being beaten down by it, more and more acceptance flows from that place. Okay. So, as always, love sharing with you. I look forward to seeing you in my DMs. You know that the doors to join the school are open. And if you're feeling that you want to have that next level of support, and you want to be in a small container with amazing humans, talking about and exploring these things on a regular basis, where you actually get to be guided in your journey from all of the levels. You know that I don't just work on the physical. Yeah. Okay. I've got the personal training and the yoga elements and the nutrition elements, which is integral when it comes to building health and happiness. But there's also all of the other parts, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. Yeah, this is why it's called total transformation. It's transformation on all levels of who you are and who you be. So if you're feeling called to work with me, reach out. The doors of the school are open. You can join us for 12 months at €8,400. Or if you want to come one-on-one with me, that's very exclusive. It's a deluxe mentorship, a minimum of 3 months, but I will be extending that soon to a minimum of 6, where you get the school included, all of the recordings up until now. Yeah. You get daily activities to be doing to move you towards your goals, and you get one weekly session with me. Yeah, where we get to deep dive into your journey. Yeah, it's incredible transformation. For 3 months, it's €4,500. Okay. And that's only open to 2 people maximum. So if you want to talk with me about that, send me a DM. It's important that we chat first. Yeah. And we get to know each other and we make sure that we're a fit. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Mwah. Love you all.